Today, Call of Duty just dropped a blog post for everything Season 4 Reloaded. And of course, there's a lot of things in there, but we are going to be focusing on Atomgrad Raid Episode 4, which is interesting because there's something said here that I don't know if so many people watching this are familiar with because they might have not been paying attention like a month or two ago, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But the first and most important thing that I think is worth talking about is, when are we getting this next raid? And believe it or not, it's actually very soon. It's going to be on July 12th. So just in 2 days after me recording this video. So we don't have to wait that long. Now, I will say it's a bit weird that they waited so long to release this blog post, because normally they do it like a week before, but I guess it's chill because we don't have to wait as long, but I really think that makes that big of a difference. But regardless, that's what's going on. Now, for probably the next big information that we've actually known for a bit now, but as I said, people may not have known, is that this appears to be the final raid for Modern Warfare 2. And the reason we say this is because there was a previous blog post from a month ago or something like that that said that, and then also with this one, it starts off the raid section saying, "The epic conclusion to Special Ops Raid Atomgrad." Now, you could speculate that they're just saying Atomgrad is ending and they're going to move to something else, but are they really going to start something else with only 1 or 2 seasons left? I mean, I don't think so, but potentially that could, maybe, not really. Like, let's be honest. Like, this seems like we're not going to be seeing raids for a while after this. Potentially with next year's game, or maybe with Infinity Ward's next game, or maybe never. I just don't know when we're going to ever see another raid again. Now, as for the blog post, they actually wrote down a lot, but most of, if not everything that they wrote in the blog post was just a summary of the story so far, and I think people watching this video are already pretty familiar with it, so I'm not going to do that. But there is one interesting thing they do say at the end, which I'll read for now, because I think it might be important when we start talking about the images that we do see that they revealed for this raid. But what this is just really doing is finishing the summary, where it says, "Until they are ultimately captured by Hadir, flanked by 2 elite AQ soldiers and sent to individual jail cells." Now, the only reason I read that is because the final part is something that we didn't technically know, because we all knew that Farah, Alex, and Price all got captured by Hadir at the end of the previous raid, right? But we didn't know exactly what happened to them, but it appears they were sent to individual jail cells, which is interesting because we are going to have a raid with those characters. So obviously they're going to somehow break out of that. Not really sure how. Maybe Gaz plays some sort of role into that, because as we know, he was left behind trying to get in contact with Laswell last we left him, so potentially that could be something, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I do want to move on to the images because it actually plays a part into the thing I just read, but in this first image, they don't actually show that much. We could just see Alex and Price standing in a very not obvious location, right? It just looks like some tunnel or something like that. And I think the only things we could really gather from this is, first, we do see Alex and Price together, so obviously they somehow broke out of their jail cells. I mean, pretty obvious there. But the other thing I think really catches my eye is that potentially this could play a part is that we see both of the characters both using suppressed guns. So I'm wondering if this raid potentially could be like an actual stealth raid, because the other ones have gave you options to be stealthy, but you really didn't have to. I'm curious if they're going to like force you to be stealthy in this raid. I mean, it would kind of make sense, especially if you're just trying to break out or something like that. But then again, probably by the end of this raid, we might be trying to get rid of the warhead that Hadir has, so potentially it could start off stealthy and then switch up to not being stealthy or something like that. I don't really know. As for the other image, and the only other image we got, we see Alex crawling under this area, which again is giving some stealthy vibes, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, one thing I will say about the images and really all the information we've got about this raid is that we know very little about this raid. Like the other raids, like I'm not saying they showed us a ton, but at least the other raids, when we were going into that, they showed images that showed more of the raid to give us a better idea of what's going on, and they at least gave us a summary of what was going to be happening. This time they're being very discreet with it, or I guess just secretive in general with this raid, which I think the main reason is probably they're doing this is because this is the final raid and they're not trying to spoil anything, so that would make sense why they would do that. So I guess we potentially may be in for maybe something special. I hope with this final raid they leave us off with some sort of banger. I really hope they have a boss fight at the end of this one. It would be such a great way to end off the raids. I think if you do have a boss fight, people are going to be feeling really good about raids, and potentially the raids won't get canceled for the next game and we can actually see raids return. Like, that would be nice. But of course, that is complete speculation about any boss fight. I'm just really hoping something cool happens at the end of this raid, really crossing my fingers for that. But regardless though, that does wrap everything up for what we know about this final raid. It's dropping very soon, so we're going to be playing it very soon, and you know, I'll probably be streaming it on release day. So if you guys want to check that out, then drop a subscribe, hit the bell for you could be ready for when it drops. Regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate if you guys dropped a like, subscribe, bell, share, or any of that great stuff. But I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be. And laters, guys.